Welcome back to All Day Live. We're going to check your weather here in just a minute. We want to talk about the Wild because they are officially in the playoffs, clinching last week with that win over Vancouver. So it sounds like we know that they're going to play the Dallas Stars in the first round, which starts April 18th. To bring us a lot more detail, a lot more insight, is longtime sports journalist working for The Athletic, Michael Russo, joining us now. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Amy.
It's great to talk to you. All right, so let's talk about it. What's in front of the Wild here right now as we look into the postseason?
Well, 5 games left. They play Seattle tomorrow and then go on a 3-game road trip to Dallas, Nashville, and St. Louis, and then a final home game against Anaheim. And a week or two ago, really a week ago, we didn't even believe that home ice advantage would be in the offing for this team, just because they lost a couple real tough home games, especially against non-playoff teams. But suddenly they're 2 points behind the Dallas Stars with that head-to-head meeting in Dallas. So suddenly, home ice in an arena in Dallas that historically the Wild haven't played well, that would be very, very big going into the postseason. So I think the Wild are in the midst of maybe even changing some plans up that they had, and plans have a tendency of changing. And I think that maybe instead of resting a bunch of guys this week, we could see some formidable lineups.
Interesting. For those who don't follow the Wild that closely, tell us a little bit about the story arc of this team over the course of this season. It's been interesting.
Yeah, it has been. Obviously got off to a really, really tough October. Absolutely turned it on in November, became one of the best teams in the NHL. Then mid-December, on December 12th, they made the trade for Quinn Hughes. And Quinn is top 2 defenseman in the National Hockey League. He's already broken numerous Wild records. They gave up a lot to get him, but he's been an absolute game changer on the ice. And they were one of the top teams going into the Olympics. Obviously, 3 of their United States-born players, Matt Boldy, Brock Faber, and Quinn Hughes, won gold medals at the Olympics, led by Bill Guerin as the general manager, and John Hines, their head coach, was an assistant coach on that team. But they haven't been as good lately since the Olympics, and they're trying to get their game back together. They've had a couple really good wins on the road against desperate teams in Ottawa and Detroit in the last couple days, and now they put themselves in a position where they really believe going into the playoffs they could be on a high.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that, about any juice from that Olympic run. So many people, saw that, and it made a lot of hockey fans, a lot of people who maybe weren't hockey fans before. Let's see. Oh, do you want to try? There we go. Oh, we're working on it. There we go. We got you. I
didn't know if that was me or you.
No, I think don't mind us. It's our first time doing Zoom. Yeah. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the dynamic, because somebody who covers a team the way you do, and the access that you have, and kind of the traveling with them, you get to know them in a way that most sports writers aren't going to get a chance to do it. What's been the dynamic like? Quinn coming in, the Olympic excitement. Bill Guerin. I mean, what's the dynamic like in the locker room, kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, they are obviously a very, very close-knit team. A really good mix of young guys and old guys. They're one of the oldest teams in the league, but their core players, the Kaprizovs, the Boldys, the Eriksson Eks, the Hugheses, Matt Boldy, these guys are in their peak prime years, and so they all get along well. Jared Spurgeon and Marcus Foligno really, make up that leadership core and are 2 very inclusive type of captains. And, the core of this team has been together for a while. And the one thing that this organization hasn't done in a long time is get past the first round. It's been, 8 straight first-round losses, a decade since they got to the second round. And I believe that they believe that this team has a chance to make it. But in terms of the guys on this team, it's as close a team as I've ever covered, and just a group of really, really good dudes.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask you a little bit, kind of a little bit of a left field, but really important for fans. I've been reading about FanDuel and kind of how are we going to continue to watch some of these local teams, including the Wild. I mean, I didn't sort of ask you this ahead of time, so I don't know how much you know about what's happening, but I think a lot of fans are wondering what's going on and how are we going to keep watching the Wild?
Yeah, they have options, and I think they could be multiple options. I think there could be a streaming component to it, and then I think over the air. And there are a couple TV stations, one you might know very well, that might have some interest as well, and that the team is talking to. The one thing that over the air does that really or cable does that maybe FanDuel doesn't have, and that's get into as many homes as possible. And the one thing about FanDuel right now, especially because they're on the higher tier of Xfinity, is a lot of people don't have that station, and so if you suddenly are on a local television here in the Twin Cities, plus you add the streaming component, I think that it could be even though it'd be more expensive for the Wild and they're not getting the same type of rights fees. The reality is that more eyeballs will be on their product, and I think that's a good thing. So they do have options. I know they're not worried about it, but obviously, I think they'd love the millions and millions of dollars that they get from rights fees. But I think that it's clearly we're going to be entering a new world here come probably next season.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to put a dollar value on growing a fan base, right? I mean,
yeah.
Accessibility. How do you put a dollar? But it is all about money at the end of the day too. So it's tricky.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, the Wild want to be seen, and right now, just the way that Xfinity has gone and this saga with FanDuel has gone, it's just not in enough homes here in the Twin Cities and throughout the state of Minnesota and beyond. And so I think that it's going to be changing very, very soon.
Okay. And finally, just kind of looking ahead here, we kind of know what we know about this first round. What are you looking at specifically when it comes to the Stars and the Wild getting past that first round?
Well, the Dallas Stars are a great team, and the reality is that two of the top 5 teams in the league are going to play together in the first round, and one can't move on in just the playoff format that the NHL has. And Dallas has been a thorn in the Wild side for a long, long time. The good news is that the Wild have played them very, very well this year. They're 2-1 against them. They've beaten them not just the twice, but once in regulation, which is something the Wild don't do a lot with Dallas. Dallas has always been a tough place for this team to play, even from before I covered the team 21 years ago. It's been one of the hardest arenas for them to play. That's why I think home ice would be such a big coup for this team to get. Jake Ottinger, a local guy here in Minnesota, he barely ever loses to his hometown team. So that's somebody they're going to have to get to. But it is going to be a fabulous series. And right now, if you were asking me, Amy, I would pick the Wild to win the series. I really do think that this is the year. They have I don't know too many teams in the league that have 3 superstars. And to have Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy, and Kirill Kaprizov on top of their games, plus a great core around them, and Eriksson Ek, Faber, Spurgeon, players like that, I think this team really is, as long as they get good goaltending, have a real good chance in the series.
That's exciting. Got chills when you said that. I really appreciate you joining us. Few people, if anybody, know this team better than you. Thanks, Michael Russo. You can find his work on The Athletic. Anywhere else where we can find you?
Just on X and Instagram, Russo Hockey, and on The Fan as well, K-Fan.
Yeah. Course. All right. Yep. Thanks for spending some time. Are you watching the Artemis stuff? Are you a space geek?
No, I'm really not. But actually, but I am going to pay attention now to find out because I was told I could be preempted here. I didn't know it was going to be by President Trump. I thought it was.
Yeah, we had the Trump. We had the Artemis historic, a mission here. So, but we're glad that we got you in. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we can check back in with you shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime,
okay.
Amy.
Thanks, Michael. Take care. Michael Russo, The Athletic. Check him out. All right.